roused about cutting up cinema like it's never been cut up before. There's going to be reviews. There's going to be interviews. There's going to be hijinks. And there's going to be a whole lot of cutting in this room. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast. Coming at you 128 kilobytes per second. Welcome to the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. This is episode 96. I am your host, as always, as usual, Tom Detloff. With me tonight is Mr. Joe Christiana, Max Cook, and the counselor, Adam Shoulder. We are here tonight to talk about Ex Machina, the 2000 and...
Nope.
Wrong already?
That's not it. Try it again.
Machina.
Nope.
Machina.
Makuna Makata.
Hakuna Matata. Now hold on.
I thought
Try
I had
it again.
this correct. Ex Machina.
Nope.
Macchiato.
Ex Machina.
Yes.
All right.
Think of like a macchiato, like an iced macchiato.
I'm gonna
Don't cut that.
keep doing this wrong all night. I swear
Excellent.
to God.
I hope so.
Ex Machina tonight.
Nope.
2000.
Nope, that's not it.
I thought I just
Machina.
Ex Machina.
Well. The movie about the robot. Go
The
on.
robot movie that Alex Garland wrote and directed in 2015. We're here to talk about that tonight. It's part of our transformation theme that the counselor Adam Shoulder has assigned the four of us to do. Next week we're going to be talking about Altered States and Wings of Desire. But like I said, this week we're going to talk about I'm just going to call it Alex Garland's 2015 film, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get to the counselor. Let's figure out what's on his mind. He gets to do, like everyone else, he gets to program an episode a season. And let's try to figure out what the heck is going on in this man's head, because we got some pretty existential stuff, I think, this time around. Some pretty deep stuff. And Adam, what is going on with this transformation theme? Please help me out. Make me understand what the hell is going on. I know you're a counselor. I know you're trying to transform people all day into being better people. What the hell's going on with you?
Well, you just said it really well and succinctly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought it was Transformer. Isn't that what it says in the, is it Transformation or Transformer?
Well, I think I called it Transformers, just kind of playing
Right,
it.
okay.
Making you guys think we were going to sit here and analyze all three of the Transformer movies.
And watch Michael Bay movies.
Yes.
All right. So what do we want to call it? Transformers or Transformation?
It's Transformers.
Okay, Transformers. Sounds
We'll
good
call.
to-
Listen, I'm not into labels, guys. Call it whatever the fuck you guys want to call it. I
No,
don't
that's
care.
what you called it, and that plays into my review.
Oh, all right. Well, good.
You can't go changing it.
Well, Max is always thinking of himself, Adam.
Transformers. We're going to stick with
We'll stick with
Transformers.
Transformers for the
That's
sake
what
of
we're
Max.
gonna stick
Thank you.
And it was, and as always, it's so much fun to program these episodes, and this being the penultimate and next episode, the ultimate episode of season 6. So
Yes, we're winding down.
I get to close out the season with, a little, just wanted to put it out there. As you said, Tom, I work with people, and I try to help people transform their lives. And that's kind of what I do. It's how I spend the bulk of my days, and I'm really lucky I get to do that. It's what I enjoy doing. So I wanted to address that in movies, but I wanted to just go a slightly different way with it. So still about the concept of transformation,
Right.
Transforming oneself into something else. But I just found three movies that I thought touch on that subject in specifically unique and different ways. With one of them, the one we will talk about next week, the Wim Wenders film, the next episode. That one, being one of my all-time favorite movies, actually, and these other two movies being the other one we'll speak of in the next episode, Altered States, a movie that hit me as like an 11 or 12-year-old on Select TV one day many years back and blew my young mind wide open. and Ex Machina, which is just as far as a new release, I think a real solid film that and a really interestingly just an interesting film that deals with the subject. So there you have it. That's what took me down this path.
Well. Thank you very much. One of the best answers to this question I've had all season, Adam.
Well, good. I'm glad I could.
It was
provide
very
it
well
you.
thought out, very well stated, very clear. I like it. I'm watching people, transform throughout these three movies, and I can't help but think to myself about making my own personal transformations as well, Adam. So it was, it definitely, made me think about a lot of things, a lot of things about life. And, we watch, I think, two of these characters kind of progress in their transformation. One of them, I think, kind of regresses a little bit, right? Physically anyway, at one point. So I think I'm more of a, if I were to have my own personal transformation, I think it would be more regressive, Adam, instead of progressive, I must admit. But
well, isn't that still some form of evolution, even if it is de-evolution?
Even if it is de-evolution.
Isn't it still moving forward, even if we're moving backwards?
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this film that Alex Garland wrote and directed, and we all know Garland. He's written a couple films for Danny Boyle. He also wrote the 2012 film Dread, which I liked a lot. Joe, Dave Pace brought that to the show.
That one did not go well.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, he brought. Yeah, that was a rough episode.
That was a tough.
That was I think that was all part of the what's that movie, Max, that he was flipping out about? Manborg.
What is with him and Manborg?
Oh no, man! But he brought Manborg to the table, right, Joe? And it wasn't that episode, but it was a similar experience. You did not like. It's like ever since the Manborg episode, Joe, he was waiting to give you Dread.
It felt that assignment definitely felt like one of the every so often it was like we fling movies at each other like daggers and
flinging movies
get it like get a knife in the back or something.
Yeah. All right, listen, folks, let's get started with the show. I'm going to introduce the film, so let's get things started. Here I go.
He might not be a king, but he's got the gout like King Henry VIII. Please welcome the tobacco industry's leading advocate and our fearless leader, Mr. Tom. Knock your socks off, Deadlaw.
Alex Garland's 2015 film, Ex Machina. Is that right?
You got it, dude. Keep going. You got it.
Alex Garland's 2015 film, Ex Machina, raises one important question. Would you have sex with an AI? If the AI was a sexy seductress with a body sent from heaven, would you do it? Would you? Well, I'm just messing around, but I must admit, it's a thought that crossed my mind while watching this film. I mean, maybe I'm not laid enough or I just watched too much porn, but I couldn't help get a tiny bit excited about the thought. Honestly, I know Max Cook was thinking the same exact thing I was. While Joe and Adam were sitting back looking for While Joe and Adam were sitting back looking for the existential meaning of Ex Machina, Max and I were getting hot and bothered by the prospect of sleeping with this beautiful machine. A couple of dunces. Simpletons, maybe. We do try, however. We sit through many films every season on TCRMP, and we endure. We make it through. Even though it seems some of us are on this show to try to outbore one another by assigning slow death cinema, Max and I live to see another day. We're still here, alive and well, and even ready to go another season. But first, let's talk a little bit about Ex Machina.
Not that time.
Machina, X Machina.
Restaurant.
Yes. Shut up, X. Written and directed by Alex Garland. Why do I even keep writing this? I keep writing.
We know Alex Garland made the movie, Tom. Jesus God.
Written and directed by Alex Garland. Machina.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Tells the story of a young computer coder who wins an in-work lottery to vacation at the CEO's Alaskan retreat. Upon arrival, he learns slowly that he was chosen and not randomly selected to help with an experiment that involves the mother invention of the human race, an artificial intelligence in the form of a beautiful young woman. Now, Garland is mostly known for his screenwriting, penning 2 Danny Boyle films, 28 Days Later, and my personal favorite Boyle film, Sunshine. This film's tone reminds me of Sunshine. It really has an amazing feel that even sprinkles Steven Soderbergh in there as well. It's a very well-directed film by Alex Garland, and quite impressive for Alex Garland's first effort. Garland mixes sci-fi and horror while never losing the human element that must thrive to make this work. And it does work. As a matter of fact, it's kind of captivating. And the Alaskan setting is also so stunningly beautiful. I mean, not enough films are shot in Alaska. It appears that it might possibly be the prettiest place on Earth. And Garland makes you think about life, where you're at, where you're going, who you're with, what you are. It's existential cinema at its finest. Garland is gifted, and I'm certain that this directing thing he's doing is going places. Ex Machina is a science fiction treat, and it's something to be witnessed. It was definitely a good start to our theme, a damn good one. And I have a feeling that Max liked this too. I also have a feeling we're going to agree about the films next week as well, Altered States and Wings of Desire. Maybe, we're kind of slow. Maybe we just don't get some things. Luckily, I got this film. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to hearing what we all thought of it. And I wonder if Joe would sleep with an AI. I wonder if Joe is an AI. Max is Adam? Is the chest hair there to throw us all off? To distract us from what he really might be? Are we surrounded by robots? I kid everyone. Joe is not an AI, and neither is Adam. They're my friends and amazing contributors to the creative world, and I adore them both. So, let's begin our discussion on this one.
I think actually you have the biggest chance of being an AI. I've met Adam and Max in person. I know that they're flesh and blood. I know you too, Tom, but as far as from Max and Adam's perspective, you very well could just be a voice inside of a computer.
Right. I could be like Her, the film Her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Right. Yeah, you're like a disembodied entity that has the gout.
That's a diversionary tactic.
It's a carefully thought out algorithm.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, I really did enjoy this film. I mean, it's really, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's got a gorgeous look to it. That alone draws you right in, which is great. This guy definitely, has a great eye, and he doesn't do a bad job with his actors. I mean, he's not working with much here.
These guys are freaking.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac is definitely becoming more and more impressive every time I see him. I mean, he's really like sensational. Yeah, I'm really digging his stuff. And he doesn't have much to work with here. I mean, it's basically takes place in this one location. He's working with maybe four actors, and it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to make a story like that work, and it never gets boring. I mean, it's constantly moving. He raises a lot of great questions, especially with his main character, and I couldn't help but be really drawn in and captivated by this movie, Adam. I really dug it, man. Thanks for bringing it aboard.
Right on.
Right on.
Right on. Right on.
Then Max, how did you like this movie? Am I right? Were you thinking some of the same things I was?
I thought this was a very effective film. I really liked the first half a lot better than the second half.
Okay.
I really loved finding out what the hell was going on in this house.
Mhm.
And I liked the fact that, to me, it was creepy. And I thought Oscar Isaacs was such a sensational villain. I mean, the fact that he's just, really laid back, and he's like, cut the sci-fi bullshit, just talk to me.
Downplays everything, right? Like
Walking around in his bare feet, and he's sweaty and stinky, and he's wearing the shorts, and you just know this guy. You know this guy, and yet you don't know him at all. And then slowly the layers begin to peel back. I love the fact that, like, the set design is insane. Like, I love all of the Post-it notes on his wall. I love the music. The chick, the first thing I did think, would I fuck this chick? I was actually much more into Kyoko, the nurse. The waitress or whatever, the maid,
house attendant,
yes, than I was the Natalie Portman wannabe. She didn't really do it for me. However, I thought her design was amazing. I liked how she and Caleb kind of developed their thing. Again, I was feeling, because I'm claustrophobic, so I was feeling when they went subterranean in that place.
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about. I haven't seen this Dread film you guys are talking about, but that's where, like, Dread was setting in. I didn't know where this was going. But by the second half, I knew, it's just another Frankenstein story. The creation's going to blow up in his face. I didn't expect it to affect Caleb, which I thought was actually very interesting.
Right, and it did. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he's going through, so much. I mean, he's going through. I mean, he's transforming too. I mean, while you're watching this movie, which is kind of weird. And I don't want. It's tough because it's such a good movie. I don't want to give too much stuff away. But when he begins to think that he might not even be who he thinks he is, I mean, that's when it really gets interesting. And it's just, I mean, there's just so many twists and turns in this movie. I couldn't take my eyes off of it, man. I think it's kind of stunning. I dig this guy. I want to see him direct some more movies. I mean, this is just the first time he's directing, and he put something so wonderful together.
Oh, he directed Dread, though.
No, he wrote it.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure he directed it, dude. I'm sorry, I don't think. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah.
Where's our research and statistical department? Can they weigh in on this?
Yeah, we'll weigh in on it in a couple of minutes, but we'll figure that out for everybody. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree with Joe on that one. I know that he wrote it. I don't think he directed. If he did direct it, then geez, I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. Geez, you're right, man. It's weird because I was watching an interview with the guy, and he was talking about it as if he did direct it. So my bad.
Did you just
man.
look it up?
Yeah, no, it's Peter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Peter Travis directed it.
All right, so he wrote it. He's a good writer. I mean, he wrote 28 Days Later. I mean, absolutely. Are you into? Did you like 28 Days Later, Max?
Is that the first one or the second one?
That's the first one.
Yeah, I like the first one.
The first one's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
it's a little horrific. It's got
the fast movers are terrifying to me.
It was really the first spin like that, right, on the zombie where they move fast.
Yeah.
And it was an early digital film, as I recall, too, right?
Yeah.
Technically speaking.
Really, they move really fast in that, what the zombies do. And then the Dawn of the Dead remake kind of like ripped that off of Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later. I believe that came out like a year or two later. You know what? This guy also, Garland, he wrote the novel The Beach that Boyle wound up adapting into a film. So that's
which is how he got into the film gig.
Right. Now I'm like with Danny Boyle, I'm usually hit or miss. I'm not a big fan of his. I do like some of his work. The Beach to me is a huge miss, Joe. I could never get into that film.
Yeah, I've seen it. I saw it once when it came out. I have very little
Chicks
recollection.
Seem to like it though. Women seem to really like that movie for some reason. Like I just remember when it was out. Like I'm having a couple of girlfriends and they just loved seeing The Beach. I don't know, maybe
it's got DiCaprio in it.
Yeah, it's DiCaprio, I think.
Yeah, you dummy.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, right. And it's only like 3 or 4 years after he did Titanic, so everybody's in love with DiCaprio at the time. I hear you.
So Tom, did you think the Portman-esque chick robot was hot? Did you feel the urge to nail her?
I just, for some reason, I, not nail her, but I don't know. It just crossed my mind. I'm like,
Because I don't think she has a pussy or a booty hole.
Yeah, I was going to say, really, just you could only really do something with the fleshy parts.
right. Yeah.
They did have that conversation in the movie,
they
and
did.
he said that he could have it. They could
That
do
there's
it.
there's a sensitive,
Yeah,
the area is sensitive.
yeah, because the character was asking him why he gave the robot sexuality, which was an interesting discussion, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever cavorted with a blow up doll, Tom?
No, I've never done that. No. Have you?
I have one. It's called Gum Gum Granny.
Right, I've seen that on the Facebook.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
blow
but
it up, and it's an old what?
That's not something like a real doll or something somebody would actually use. I mean, that's just a joke.
Oh, I've seen those real dolls. There's something else entirely.
They really creepy.
Oh yeah, there was a whole show about that. People who really don't want relationships with real women. They want to have relationships with synthetic women that don't talk.
Oh
But
my,
our girl in this movie, she clearly had a mind. See,
right.
all of this stuff that's going on in this film is happening right now. All of it is happening right now. There is a house in Alaska right now where chicks are walking around and dudes are getting, well, I don't want to give things away, but mad scientists are getting really, really drunk and walking around their bare feet, lifting weights and antagonizing their unders. This is all happening right now, I believe.
You think someone's actually building an AI or has built an AI and it has real thoughts? Is that what you're saying, or what are you saying?
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think
really happening.
Yeah, I could see it. Joe, I don't think they're at a point where it could uh really.
Well, this is the question this is the
Right.
most interesting question that the film raises, obviously, man. And throughout history, all of our science fiction, we get so close. Sometimes we hit it like right on the head, and a lot of the stuff that's in fiction ends up happening in one way or one form or another in reality. And right now, like you guys just mentioned, that movie, Her. That's obviously very preoccupied with this thought of our robots and our creations having consciousness. And there was another film too. I can't remember the friggin' name of it. I'll have to look it up. But it had to do with the birth, the same exact theme of the next step of human evolution is being succumbing to our creations. Do you, it's a very interesting question, man. I don't know. It seems like it's probably. I mean, do you guys think? Is that what you're saying? You guys think that there will someday be something that actually has life and consciousness, like a robot in Her or in this film? You think it's possible?
I think it's definitely possible. I don't think it's something that's gonna. I think we'll begin to see it maybe at the end of our lives, where it might, where it, it could start to become maybe somewhat normal. Maybe rich people have AIs, perhaps, workers, things like that. I think that's possible. But Joe, the big question is, developing something like this, would that be the next step for this planet, for its occupiers?
I mean, it would have. I mean, that's obviously, if you're looking at the history of mankind,
But to do that,
into
they would have humans would have to play second fiddle or be wiped out.
I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? We'd have to see what happens, but it definitely opens up a whole can of worms as far as ethics and responsibility. Yeah, if something has life and consciousness, then it really is no different than a human mind, and therefore reserves the same rights and privileges
Even
as
if it's not
everybody else.
organic?
That's the question, right?
Right.
I mean, and then all of a sudden, if a machine has consciousness, then they're gonna look at their brethren, these Ataris and all these computers, and be like, "Oh, look at how mistreated all these machines are," and how maybe they would understand closer to how understand more keenly how.
What are you
close
talking about
that
when machines become obsolete?
No, like think about the first band of machines that actually have consciousness.
Okay.
Then they're going to look back in history and see all of our desktop computers and our phones and how we've basically just been abusing
That's what I'm
the shit
saying.
out
That
of
these,
them. You know what I
well,
mean?
not abusing them and then just throwing them to the way, to the wayside when we don't need them anymore. Like we unplug them and they die. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
The way we treat
So when they
animals.
become obsolete, when we, that we don't need them anymore. That's why they're obsolete. So we go on to the next step. And you're right. So you could look back on that as that's
I mean, it's
that's
just an
wacky,
interesting
man.
question. I mean, it's
I
an
should have
interesting.
smoked some weed before this show.
I mean, the other thing too, and I know that this is a bit of a spoiler, so I think that we can talk about this movie with spoilers. Does anybody? I
I've been
think it's
trying
fine.
to avoid it, but if it's working.
Yeah, so this is a spoiler. This is the second time I saw the movie, and one of the most interesting things that I saw about it the second time was that the creation basically takes on the characteristics and the traits of its creator,
Mm.
which is its complete lack of empathy and its huge propensity toward manipulation. So
Mhm.
this dude, this Isaac, whatever, Nathan, his character basically was a misfit and not socially capable of communicating with other human beings, and supremely smart, obviously, and manipulative. And then this thing basically is unleashed into the world with almost zero empathy and with this incredible ability to manipulate other people. So I mean that just adds a new dimension on the film, actually.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's pretty heavy. Geez, wow. I mean, that's and you this the second time you saw it, Joe?
Yeah, I watched it initially. I dug it the first time a lot, and then this time I knew what was going on, so I was
Yeah,
able to.
yeah. You
I,
could.
I like I like how Ava, her consciousness was built from thousands and thousands of other people's consciousness.
Right,
You know,
right.
see, this is where again, like all of this Facebook shit, all of this Twitter shit. Maybe it's my age, maybe it's my dementia, but like, for example, I went into the Rite Aid today. All right, I had to buy some dental toothpicks. So you see, so I go up to the lady and she goes, "Do you have your?" I don't know, not fun time card, but like it was a whole other card because you always have to give people these cards at these.
Everywhere.
You can't just go and buy a goddamn pack of toothpicks. You got to get a card out.
Mm.
And she's like, "So do you have your player card?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have that." She goes, "Well, would you like to open one?" I said, "No, I don't want to know. I don't want people to know that I'm buying toothpicks right now. I just don't want to." And then I look over you guys, and there's a robot Santa standing there for sale looking at me. And I've got this movie on my mind, and if I do get the card, they're gonna boop the card, and then the card information is gonna shoot into Santa's head, and he's gonna shoot it up to Alaska, and this world's getting crazy.
It's true, man. I mean, just to think about that, just being how interconnected we are, just like what you're saying, everybody knows everything about everybody. And if you do put that in the context of human evolution and the way that our minds are evolving, think about what we're doing, in this generation, and my kids' generation is essentially relinquishing all prospects of any sort of
Privacy.
privacy.
Yeah.
Right. So we've basically tearing down the walls of privacy. So we're melding into like the
It's the
same
Borg.
mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Right?
and then and with that going on, that next generation, Joe, they're gonna anybody that wants to be privatized or private, if they want privacy, they're gonna be looked at as weird and outcasts.
Yeah, of course they're going to be outcasts.
Yeah.
They're going to be.
Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so the new human is basically what I think is what, in some way, I don't know what shape or form it will be, but I think that obviously was on this writer's mind, is it's going to be this collection of all of us, like our combined knowledge. It's just going to be a single entity in a sense,
Isn't that what God is?
There you go, man. From what's the from sperm to worm to whatever,
In the end of it all, we're going to find that we were just looking for ourselves all along.
Yeah.
It's all going to end up being one big same thing that we've been looking for this whole time.
Oh my God. What the hell is going on?
Well, and that's actually what 2001 is. It's
Right.
this journey toward just transformation. That
That's a
movie
big
would
influence
definitely.
on this film, and so
Yeah,
is
very
Snakes.
Kubrickian film, this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, that Oscar Isaac character, he was studying Kubrick's
Yeah.
demeanors and idiosyncrasies when he was figuring out how to approach the world,
yeah,
which I thought was pretty
yeah. I
interesting.
mean, you could see those influences. Like I said, Joe, Soderbergh too. I think is all over this too.
Yeah, it looked a lot.
Yeah,
It felt a lot like Solaris, where it's like
sure,
kind of a low budget sci-fi
sure.
movie that's pretty high reaching,
Right.
far reaching, like in that way.
Absolutely. And it's no surprise that this guy's parents were his mom was a psychoanalysis and his father was a political cartoonist, Max. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's quite the intellectual combination there. So I think he was a coder or was doing coding as a kid, like you 11, 12 years old. He was working on something, and so he kind of I mean, that's the inception of this film started even way back then. So this is definitely a film that was on his mind, when he was even a preteen. He at least the beginnings of it. So it's just really you could tell there's a lot of love and a lot of care and a lot of thought going into this, guys. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And hey, listen, it's not 2001, or it's not legendary like Altered States, but it's a really thoughtful science fiction piece. And I like I said earlier, I'm really impressed with it, and I definitely want to continue to see where this guy goes. I hope he sticks to science fiction, man, because I think the world could use some sci-fi. We haven't really heard Adam's thoughts on the film. He's the one who assigned it, so let's try to get a little bit of Adam's take on the film itself. Adam, what's going on here? Why did you start us off with this one? Obviously, you like it, right?
Oh yeah, I think it's a great film for all the reasons that we've been discussing. But yeah, I think it does fascinate me in terms of where the future of sort of how humans will transform themselves to evolve. And I don't think it's going to play out exactly in the idea of like AI as these robots that are seamless between whether they're human or artificial. I think that will still play itself out, but more in terms of novelty. Because the way I look at it, I think I mean, robots and machines do everything for us now. It's just not one.
It's getting there.
Well, I mean, it's almost there. I mean, it is there. I mean, everything from cooking our food to just assembly plant stuff to, I mean, anything is really a machine that we use. We've got a machine. Our personal assistant takes our messages for us. Well, that's, our voicemail. My voicemail turns it into text for me. That's like having artificial intelligence that's working as a personal assistant. So I think we've broken it down out of the idea of that there's just going to be a artificial human that's going to be our assistant that's going to do everything for us. We've broken each individual task down into different robots that help us every single day. I think the AI part of it is going to be more of maybe a hybrid between humans and robots, where things like the internet, which is access to really all of humankind information at this point, that's current and historical. There's going to be a way that we can access that directly without having to log on to an interface, whether it's through a biological implant or somehow we'll be able to tie into that, which then gets to what we were talking about.
You're talking about cyborgs.
I mean,
like it'll be you're thinking that it's going to be a combination. Joe, this kind of this I could see.
Yes.
This is really good because you're talking about a combination of the two.
Yes, and
I think
that's more likely in our near future. What do you say, Joe?
No, I was just gonna say it doesn't. I think what I'm hearing is that the human form of the robot is not really necessary,
Right?
So on film, it's kind of neat on film because we can relate to it, we need to fight it or whatever. But it probably sounds like it's going to be closer to what that guy was doing in Her, what Spike Jonze was doing with Her. Right?
Yeah, and I think we'll see it in our lifetime. I think we're well on the way to that, and I think that social media will end up tying into that. I was looking at a really cool story the other day about how like, let's say a president is giving the speech on whatever, and he has an instant feedback loop from Twitter. but that feedback is not given to him with all these Twitter feeds. It's taking all of the sentiment expressed on Twitter, quantifying it, and then it's relaying it to him through something that he's wearing. Let's say he's wearing a vest, and that vest will vibrate a certain way depending on the algorithm that's based on the general sentiment of real-time Twitter. So he's giving a speech, and in real time he feels a buzz on like the left side of his body. That means that thing he just said hasn't really landed so well. And so he has an instant feedback loop to the general tone of the public that's following along via social media.
Yeah.
Now that exists right now. That technology currently exists. I saw a piece on it.
Oh my God.
So, extrapolate that out into the idea of we being connected
that's right. Yeah.
To social media, to the internet in a sort of a biotech way. I don't know about the word cyborg because I think that even takes it a little off point, but some way that we are connected in. So that to me seems more of the evolution of how AI is going to move. I think the movie Ex Machina brings up just that I forget the name of that test, but
the Turing test.
The Turing test of, can we make artificial intelligence that is so much like ourselves that we don't even know the difference? And I don't know if we're going to get there, and if we do, I don't know that it'll be more in novelty fashion in terms of a practical use, but this other stuff I'm talking about is the stuff that I see the way humankind transforming themselves into the near future here.
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be about telepathy in a sense, right? Being connected, like just that's what, which falls right into what, we're basically training ourselves with social media to basically relinquish any sort of conception of privacy, because eventually we're going to be connected through chips or whatever, right into our friggin' skulls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Max had that chip hooked up to him, like on Facebook, for his Facebook feed? His body would be buzzing left all day long.
I'd probably get a lot of unfriendings. Hey, Tom, we're talking about the future. We're talking about reflecting on life. We're talking about synthetic life, real life, all these things, transformation, transformative times. What's going on with you? You said that you've been thinking a lot about yourself.
Well, how could you not watching these movies, Max? I mean, there's, you're watching pieces of work like this. You definitely do some reflecting, wouldn't you say?
Well, now you're deflecting, but yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Nice. Well done. Well played, sir.
So where you at? What? Because the future means the future of this show, and we all know that you kind of have to like take a much bigger role in making the show happen. How you feeling about that?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, it's just a thing right now. It's just a matter of time, and hopefully, I made a move recently, and I'm hoping to gradually get to a place where I need to be. I'm just trying to stay focused. I'm trying to.
I was kind of talking about it with Max about sort of what the plans for the future are.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I kind of just let him know. I mean, look, there's a lot of people. Look, I enjoy doing the show, and I hate to have it move away or just dissolve.
Yeah, because we do have a lot to do tonight, Joe. And
well, it's fun. It's a fun show. I don't want it to go away. And I just know that, there's one more season, it sounds like, unless kind of things move, progress into the next.
Right. I mean, that's down the road. I mean, that's not, tonight.
Down the road will be tomorrow. You see how fast life is moving.
That's what
Look at these fucking movies. I mean, life is moving way too fast. And it's going to be tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to have Thanksgiving, and then it's going to be Christmas, and then boom, you're going to be in the new year. And next thing you know, it's like, holy shit, I still haven't gotten a computer. I still haven't learned these editing skills.
Okay.
It's got to be where you're coming from, Tom. I mean, when I first met you, it seemed like this show was your life, but it seems like that's not the case anymore. You know what I mean?
That's not necessarily true, Max.
And that's cool. I just don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's like more of a burden than a pleasure or a joy to you. And maybe it's because, remember that period you went through like, God, I don't want to host every single episode. I want to be off for a few of them. And I'm like, you're the fucking host.
Okay.
You're screwed because you have to do every show. You're the main personality.
Well, that was before we decided to take breaks and this and that. I mean, that
right.
That was, we figured out the solution to that principle.
You need the consistency of a single voice guiding the show.
Sure. But when we first started doing the show, Joe, for almost a year, we did it without taking a break. It was just,
Yeah, it
it
was
was not, it
ridiculous.
was
Well,
completely
we
absurd.
weren't
Yeah.
continuing.
So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. No. Well, we're talking about something else
over a
here,
year.
which is,
Not almost. It was over a year where we did it like nonstop,
yeah, there were, and no
meeting a
break was
schedule, no
yeah, we
break
literally had to. We almost literally had to
through
break.
holidays.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
no good. But listen, on a scale of 1 to 5, okay?
Okay.
5 being, wait, 1 would be top priority, 5 would be least priority. Where is the show? Give it a number of the priority in your life that this show is.
Well, you just said 1 the most priority and 3 the
Yeah.
least priority, but you're
No, I
giving
said
me 5
5.
numbers. Oh,
No, I said 5.
okay. 1. Well, what kind of a question is this, Joe? Why did you sick him on me like this?
I'm not sick
not
of listen.
sick of-
I think well here, honestly, the people who listen to our show and the people who are on the show,
Okay.
obviously the folks who are here like doing the show. We're here because we enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm
so
here
do I,
because I
yeah.
enjoy it.
I'm here.
And
I
I'm
have a
sure
big
that the
smile
people
on
who
my
clicked
face.
on us,
So
Why
this,
do you feel why do you feel sicked on though, Tom? Joe didn't put me up to this. I'm putting myself up to this. Why do you
Why
feel
is-
sicked on?
because
I just
you're
want to know
looking
the
for.
future of
Hold
the
on,
show.
hold on. You're looking for absolute answers right now, and
You haven't given anything, not even a vague answer.
because I don't think I'm capable of giving any answers right this second. I do.
Are you
I do
okay?
know
So
this is what I said, and Joe and I
here's the
agreed.
thing. Tom, here it is. No one, I don't want to come out here like we're attacking you or anything like that.
there's-
But like I was trying to say,
haven't
is that the
done this
people
before.
there are folks who like to be on the show, and there's obviously folks who like to listen to the
Sure,
show.
a lot of them.
So this is an interesting topic because it relates to the future of the show, and I'm telling you as a friend, I'd hate to see it go away.
Okay. All right.
I will hope that, and I hope that you don't go away. That's all. Tom.
I hope so too. I really do.
Tom, instead
But
of talking
senior
about the
parents-
show or the future of the show,
Listen, you know what's really draining? Doing like this is draining for me. Coming on here and everything
I
being
know,
about.
but Tom, at
That's-
some
that's
point we need to
draining.
talk about the. I know just what Max was saying is that eventually at that time, that moment, it's like a year, almost a year away.
Okay.
And when that time comes, it's going to come quicker than you know. And then all of a sudden, the show's going to go away, and we're all going to feel bad because we're bummed out because we like doing the show.
Okay.
And you're going to feel even worse because you know what I mean? You're going to feel responsible. So I just urge you to take the control of it now.
Okay.
So make whatever you need to do now and don't put it off.
Tom, you cut me off. You didn't let me ask my question. Forget about the future of the show. You said you were going through a transformative time right now. I'd like to hear more about that.
No, I did not say that I was going through a transformative time, Max.
Okay, then
I said
watching
that
this
we were just
movie-
watching these movies and doing reflecting. It was just in
Yeah, so
general.
I want to hear what you reflected on.
on my own personal life. Honestly, because it's fucking negative, Max. I don't want to come on here and be negative.
Negative, it's real. It's not about being negative. You're
Well,
saying
it
the
is
movie-
negative to me.
Well,
Yeah, it's real to you, but negative to me because whenever I do reflect on things, it's fucking negative. It's that this ain't this. I'm falling short on what Joe would like me to do for the show, and that sucks. That's
But
negative.
you're not falling short. You see, you've already set yourself up. You've already accepted failure. You don't need to come up short. You have plenty of time, and that's all this is
Yeah,
about.
and I get
this is
that, but
this isn't negative, Tom. This isn't
if
negative.
I have plenty
honestly.
of time, which you and I discussed, why is this coming at me right now, right this second?
Yeah,
because we're talking about the future.
Can
Because
I
we're
ask
talking
one
about
question
transformation.
that's of this subject? Let me ask one question just to chime in. So, Tom, you said you've been thinking about things because of these movies.
That's just a
Transformation. Okay, so
Any
and you said it
subject
was
that we
of
cover. I'm
course.
going to think, oh, fine,
Of
Okay.
course. And you said that it was negative. Okay. And you don't want to go into the negativity. Totally respect that. Get that. But if it's negative stuff, have you thought at all about what you're going to do in specifics to make, to change that?
Well,
Whatever those negative things may
listen,
be.
first, yeah, you have to become aware first. You have to be aware of what's going on. That's what is negative, what needs to be changed. And I feel like I'm constantly, at that spot in my life for like the past year or two where I'm just, I'm realizing this and I'm realizing that, but changes to me at this point, I don't feel, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't really feel that I'm.
Listen, it doesn't have to
don't
be any
wanna
more
do this.
complicated. It's really simple. And the reason why we're bringing it up is because this may be the last ongoing drama of the show, which is interesting for the show. And people who are listening to it obviously are interested in the show and what's happening behind it, and we're interested because it affects all our lives. So it's and it does it, what the changes don't need to be anything like like mind earth shattering. It's a matter of finding out how to edit audio. Really, it's not that
I
complicated.
get that,
man.
yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. Okay, but the brick wall in my life right now is obtaining the piece of equipment. Listen, okay,
Understood,
okay,
but you
listen,
can't.
listen, when I moved,
cannot.
when I moved, hold on, when I moved, I my glass, I broke my glasses. Okay, and I can't even right now with paying rent and paying bills and getting caught up on things. I can't go out and wear glasses. So like for 6 weeks now, like I get migraines, and I'm like squinting at screens, and Wings of Desire. I had to like pull up a chair to sit in front of the fucking TV to read the fucking subtitles. All right, now listen, you want to know? Yeah, it sucks, but I'm accepting it, and I know that I will be able to get this item soon if I just keep working and I keep doing what I need to do, and that's
There's also there's programs that assist people who
you're talking
need
about welfare.
not welfare. No,
Oh,
there's like programs for like eye programs. I don't know. I don't wear glasses,
okay.
but I know that there are programs where if you can't afford eyeglasses, you can go and find. I know that there are programs where you can go and get somebody's eyeglasses that are a very close match to your own. And they don't cost $300.
Okay.
Or whatever they are. So
I didn't know you didn't have your glasses.
No.
That's terrible.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And on top of that, guys, in September, I had by far the worst gout attack I've ever had, where I had to make changes, which I did. Okay. And I had to make dietary changes. So here's the thing. For the past 7 weeks, I have not eaten any red meat. I have not eaten any turkey. I've not eaten any gravy, soup, marinara sauce, nothing. I've eaten nothing but chicken and vegetables, and I eat fruits, and I also eat bread. I'll eat bread because it's filling. I like to eat bread, but and I also stopped drinking soda. I don't drink soda anymore. So these are very big changes that I've made, and I had to make them because it's very good. Okay.
It's good.
Okay.
Good.
But in doing this, I also have to take medication. I have to take a medication every single day. I was on a steroid for about 5 or 6 weeks, which caused severe depression, tiredness, shortness of breath. It was very excruciating. I didn't bring any of this up. I just did it. I haven't burdened anybody with this bullshit. I was just doing it. I was handling it. I was working. I was doing what I had to do. I spend money on medication, just to get through this. So, I hear you, Joe, on the show, and I want the show to continue. And I think that it will. I really do. I think that it will continue. Okay. But I can't sit here and say right now that it definitely will, because you just never know.
Okay. I just want to just put this in. You could try to figure it out on the computer that you have. I think that computer would be, at least you can get the rudiments of the knowledge. At least you could start to work on.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. In the off season, you're obviously you're probably going to come down here at some point, probably around Christmas, around my birthday time, which you usually do. I mean, I enjoy that. So when you do, you come early. We'll sit down. We'll install the thing. You and Max, we'll have fun. We'll get on, a couple days before. We'll talk for 20 minutes. We'll record something. We'll install the thing. We'll sit here. You could sit here, and I can learn how to edit the fucking stuff.
Well, you're not going to learn in one day.
I hear you.
But yeah, I'll get you started. Okay. Yes, and I think that's a very good.
See, now that's a specific plan. That's what I was asking. I like that.
Very good. I commit to that. I will commit to that.
And I will commit to it too. And
That's
my knee, like I listen, I can't even exercise right now. My knee's just starting to get better. Like I haven't been able to go out for a walk. Like I can't walk down more than a block without my knee being in pain for almost 2 months. All right, and this is my fault. It's my fault because I abused my body. I never listened to the doctor when he told me a few years ago.
Wait, the knee is part of the gout thing?
Yeah.
No, I thought it would, okay. All right.
Joe, you could get any jointed area.
Okay.
Any jointed. It's not just the foot. It's I get it in my hand, my elbow. I've had it everywhere. But this right knee thing, this night when this kicked in, I was screaming in pain all night. Like I've never. I shivered just thinking about how awful it was. And then it fucked up my knee. I mean, my knee's been fucked up. I had to go on the special medication, and I'm just starting to walk better. You know, and I'm just beginning that. Like, where hopefully in a couple weeks I could exercise. Like, I mean, I live by the fucking ocean. There's a boardwalk here. It's been nice out. I can't even enjoy that. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's been rough. I mean, there's rough shit, but I don't want to bring this shit to you guys. I don't want to bring it to our listeners. I don't want to bring it to the show. You know, when I come on this show, I just want to just want to have fun. As entertaining as this might be to everyone, Max.
Human interest.
I just want to have fun.
You're going to have fun. There's still 2 more shows to go. I was just asking what your transformation was about, and you kept cutting me off and screaming. Wait a minute. I know a little bit about that.
All right. Well, listen, let's wrap this episode up because we do have a lot to do. Listen, as always,
Hey, Tom, let me ask you this. Are you allowed to drink? Or is that been cut out too?
That's been completely cut back. Honestly, like I completely cut back. I mean, there was a recent. It was 3.5 weeks I had in between drinks. That hasn't happened in my entire adult life.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So now it's like, and the doctor said, with the alcohol, he's like, you have to change, what what you're drinking, and if you're gonna drink what you like, and he knows what I like. I told him I like the IPA beers. He goes, you can't do it 2-3 times a week. He's like, if you're gonna do it, like, because this allopurinol I'm taking keeps my my uric acid levels down majorly. So you could, like he said, you could do, every couple months you could have a burger or whatever, but it's not like I can't like have this is what I was doing. I'd have a burger on Monday. I mean, I'm just saying, I had a burger on Monday. Then on Tuesday night, I'd binge drink. And then Wednesday, I'd wake up and I'd have a cheesesteak. You know what I'm saying? And maybe pizza for dinner. And then the next day, I'd binge drink. And then have a steak or shrimp or something. That day, I can't live like that. Like, that's not the way I could. Nobody should be living like that, unless, of course, they're the king of England.
Or Tom, unless they want to die, and you don't want to die anymore.
No, but that's the thing. That's listen. I have a lot of bad habits. Don't get me wrong, but this shit,
it's not worth it.
Not only that, but like not just for me, I really began to realize how it was affecting other people that it shouldn't be affecting. And that includes, the person that I live with, the people that I work with, my mother, who, when this happened, had to, she had company and she was the only one that could help me. So she had to come up here on the day that the day after that, this had hit me. She had to stop what she was doing to come up here. She was the only one that could help me get my medication. I mean, I couldn't move, I mean, it was horrible. It was fucking horrible. It was a nightmare. But it's my fault. Nobody should feel sorry for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that I finally, with this shit, realized that these major dietary changes needed to be made. And honestly, it's better. Like, I feel like, my stomach's shrinking down a little bit. Like, that soda was killing me. Nobody should be drinking soda. Once a year, you should, if you have pizza or something, you have a glass of soda. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you enjoy.
Hey, you're getting over these hurdles, and I think that'll lead you to being a better artist, and maybe deciding, yes, I'm going to really focus on saving the show and making it your own again, or whatever.
We'll see. I hope so. I hope so, but I can only do one little thing at a time here.
Thank you for the information.
You're welcome. No problem.
We're behind you, Tom.
Well, listen, you can follow me on Twitter. I'll keep you posted on my gout situation, almost on a hourly basis. So get over there. That's Thomas Detloff at TCRM.
You should tweet your diet.
Yeah, tweet
everything you eat. What you're up to.
Food log it.
Everybody else is doing that. You can like us on Facebook, the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. You guys know that. The music is done by the Zillatones. Check them out at www.thezillatones.com. or search for them on Reverb Nation. The show is edited by Mr. Joe Christiana and produced mostly by Joe Christiana, and I do a little production as well. So there you go. And we'd also like to thank Jeremy Garcia of Dartboard Cinema for helping us.
I regret that he wasn't on this. He really would have appreciated all hearing
for
all
those of you that listen to the show, I was on the hot seat the last 10, 15 minutes here. Trust me, this kid's going to have a lot coming to him. I'm sure Max has a lot going on in that head of his. So definitely, Jeremy's definitely going to be on the hot seat. Next week, we're going to talk about, check out Max's blog at maxcookuncorked.com. And you can also follow Max on Twitter. It's at maxcookuncorked, right, Max? That's the Twitter. I'm not reading that. I just want to start throwing that out there.
Thanks, Tom. They can find all links at Max Cook Uncorked. That's all.
Max hates Twitter. He hates it. He cannot.
Just send them to Max Cook Uncorked, and they'll find everything there. Thank you.
Enough. And don't forget to go over to see Adam Starland PC at starlandpc.com. We're going to be back next week. We're going to be talking Transformers and transformation and all kinds of wacky stuff next week. We're going to do Altered States, and we're going to do Wim Wenders' Wings of Desire. Joe, we're starting off with Wenders this season, and we're ending with Wenders. So.
Yeah.
We're over and we're out. Ciao.
Tune in next time to satisfy more of your strange desires. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast. We do chicken right. This gang of roustabouts are cutting up cinema like it's never been cut up before. There's gonna be reviews, there's gonna be interviews, there's gonna be hijinks, and there's gonna be a whole lot of cutting in this room. The Cutting Room Movie Podcast, coming at you 128 kilobytes per second.
Welcome to the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. This is episode 96. I am your host, as always, as usual, Tom Detloff. With me tonight is Mr. Joe Christiana, Max Cook, and the counselor, Adam Shoulder. We are here tonight to talk about Ex Machina, the 2000 and...
Nope.
Wrong already?
That's not it. Try it again.
Machina.
Nope.
Machina.
Makuna Makata.
Hakuna Matata. Now hold on.
I thought
Try
I
it
had
again.
this right. Ex Machina.
Nope.
Macchiato.
Ex Machina.
Yes.
All right.
Think of like a macchiato, like an iced macchiato.
I'm gonna
Don't cut that.
keep doing this wrong all night. I swear
Excellent. I hope so.
to God. Ex Machina tonight.
Nope.
2000.
Nope, that's not it.
I thought I just
Machina.
Ex Machina.
Well. The movie about the robot. Go
The
on.
robot movie that Alex Garland wrote and directed in 2015. We're here to talk about that tonight.
At movies, but I wanted to just go a slightly different way with it. So still about the concept of transformation,
Right.
transforming oneself into something else, but I just found three movies that I thought touch on that subject in specifically unique and different ways. With one of them, the one we will talk about next week, the Wim Wenders film, the next episode. That one, being one of my all-time favorite movies, actually, and these other two movies being the other one we'll speak of in the next episode, Altered States, a movie that that hit me as like an 11 or 12-year-old on select TV one day many years back and blew my young mind wide open. And Ex Machina, which is just as far as a new release, I think a real solid film that and a really just an interesting film that deals with the subject. So there you have it. That's what took me down this path.
Well, thank you very much. One of the best answers to this question I've had all season, Adam.
Well, good. I'm glad I could.
It was very well thought out, very well stated, very clear. I like it. I'm watching people, transform throughout these three movies, and I can't help but think to myself about making my own personal transformations as well, Adam. So it was, it definitely, made me think about a lot of things, a lot of things about life. And, we watch, I think, two of them. Two of these characters kind of progress in their transformation. One of them, I think, kind of regresses a little bit, right? Physically, anyway. At one point. So I think I'm more of a, if I were to have my own personal transformation, I think it would be more regressive, Adam, instead of progressive. I must admit, but.
Well, isn't that still some form of evolution, even if it is de-evolution?
Even if it is de-evolution.
Isn't it still moving forward, even if we're moving backwards?
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to have a lot of fun with this film that Alex Garland wrote and directed. And, we all know Garland. He's written a couple films for Danny Boyle. He also wrote the 2012 film Dread, which I like tiny bit excited about the thought. Honestly, I know Max Cook was thinking the same exact thing I was. While Joe and Adam were sitting back looking for the While Joe and Adam were sitting back looking for the existential meaning of Ex Machina, Max and I were getting hot and bothered by the prospect of sleeping with this beautiful machine. A couple of dunces. Simpletons, maybe. We do try, however. We sit through many films every season on TCRMP, and we endure. We make it through. Even though it seems some of us are on this show to try to outbore one another by assigning slow death cinema, Max and I live to see another day. We're still here, alive and well, and even ready to go another season. But first, let's talk a little bit about Ex Machina.
Not that time.
Ex Machina.
Restaurant.
Yes. Shut up, Ex. Written and directed by Alex Garland. Why do I even keep writing this? I keep writing
We
it.
know Alex Garland made the movie, Tom. Jesus God.
Written and directed by Alex Garland.
Sorry, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Tells the story of a young computer coder who wins an in-work lottery to vacation at the CEO's Alaskan retreat. Upon arrival, he learns slowly that he was chosen and not randomly selected to help with an experiment that involves the mother invention of the human race, an artificial intelligence in the form of a beautiful young woman. Now, Garland is mostly known for his screenwriting, penning two Danny Boyle films, 28 Days Later, and my personal favorite Boyle film, Sunshine. This film's tone reminds me of Sunshine. It really has an amazing... It's part of our transformation theme that the counselor Adam Shoulder has assigned the four of us to do. Next week, we're going to be talking about Altered States and Wings of Desire, but like I said, this week we're going to talk about I'm just going to call it Alex Garland's 2015 film, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get to the counselor. Let's figure out what's on his mind. He gets to do, like everyone else, he gets to program an episode a season, and let's try to figure out what the heck is going on in this man's head, because we got some pretty existential stuff, I think, this time around. Some pretty deep stuff. And Adam, what is going on with this transformation theme? Please help me out. Make me understand what the hell is going on. I know you're a counselor. I know you're trying to transform people all day into being better people. What the hell's going on with you?
Well, you just said it really well and succinctly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought it was Transformer. Isn't that what it says in the? Is it Transformation or Transformer?
Well, I think I called it Transformers, just kind of playing
Right,
it,
okay.
making you guys think we were going to sit here and analyze all three of the Transformer movies.
And watch Michael Bay movies.
Yes.
All right. So what do we want to call it? Transformers or Transformation?
It's Transformers.
Okay, Transformers. Sounds
We'll
good
call
to
it.
me.
Listen, I'm not into labels, guys. Call it whatever the fuck you guys want to call it. I
No,
don't
that's
care.
what you called it, and that plays into my review.
Oh, all right. Well, good.
You can't go changing it.
Well, Max is always thinking of himself, Adam.
Transformers. We're going to stick with
We'll stick with
Transformers.
Transformers for the
That's
sake
what
of
we're gonna
Max.
stick with.
Thank you.
And it was, and as always, it's so much fun to program these episodes, and this being the penultimate and next episode, the ultimate episode of season 6. So
Yes, we're winding down.
I get to close out the season with, a little, just wanted to put it out there. As you said, Tom, I work with people, and I try to help people transform their lives. And that's kind of what I do. It's how I spend the bulk of my days, and I'm really lucky I get to do that. It's what I enjoy doing. So I wanted to address that
A lot, Joe. Dave Pace brought that to the show.
That one did not go well.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, he brought. Yeah, that was a rough episode.
That was a tough
That
one.
was I think that was all part of the what's that movie, Max, that he was flipping out about Manborg.
What is with him and Manborg?
Oh no, man! But he brought Manborg to the table, right, Joe? And it wasn't that episode, but it was a similar experience. You did not like. It's like ever since the Manborg episode, Joe, he was waiting to give you drink.
It felt that assignment definitely felt like one of the every so often
It was literal.
it was like we fling movies at each other like daggers and
flinging movies.
get it like get a knife in the back or something.
Yeah. All right, listen, folks. Let's get started with the show. I'm going to introduce the film, so let's get things started. Here I go.
He might not be a king, but he's got the gout like King Henry VIII. Please welcome the tobacco industry's leading advocate and our fearless leader, Mr. Tom. Knock your socks off, Deadlaw.
Alex Garland's 2015 film Ex Machina. Is that right?
You got it, dude. Keep going. You got it.
Alex Garland's 2015 film Ex Machina raises one important question. Would you have sex with an AI? If the AI was a sexy seductress with a body sent from heaven, would you do it? Would you? Well, I'm just messing around, but I must admit, it's a thought that crossed my mind while watching this film. I mean, maybe I'm not laid enough or I just watched too much porn, but I couldn't help get a